but it's a fun experience, not just because of the combine, but because of, and not just like, oh, you go to dinner. Yes, you go to dinner, but you hear the whispers. Yeah. The combine is unbelievable for the whispers, right? And that's generally gets leaked out, and that's where guys get their information of like risers and fallers and who's showing out and so on and so forth. But I would love for you to bring us like a name that you heard whispered around those executives in the NFL over dinner at St. Elmo's, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I'll give you two guys that I actually really liked when I watched them. Who I felt like these two individual players have not gotten a lot of juice. Maybe I should have been talking about them more. And then they had, talking to folks there's love for them amongst NFL teams. And then they backed it up with great workouts. And they're two guys that you've been plenty of. One is Marvin Mims, the wide receiver from Oklahoma. Was just a really good player. Knew he was going to be quick. You could see that on the tape. I did not know he had the top speed that he showed in his workout there. And then the other one is Charlie Jones from Purdue, who made maybe the smartest transfer decision of anybody in the transfer portal era. Because
I'm so glad you brought him up because it's so
he
true.
Didn't transfer from Iowa. He escaped from Iowa.
It's so true.
They got to Purdue where they actually can complete passes and throw the ball, and he has a big year, and he had a great workout, ran fast. Like those two guys, to me, are like third. They're going to go in the third round, maybe the fourth round. But like that's what's awesome. You're like, I like this guy. I don't feel for this guy. And then you start talking to buddies around the league, and like, yeah, there's some love on the streets for them. And then then you see him work out, and you're like, all right, yeah, these guys can play.
The thing I loved about when I was getting ready for Purdue, so I had them in the Big Ten championship game, and I had them in their first game of the season. And number one, I love Charlie Jones because Gus started calling him Chuck Sizzle during the first, so it's just like, well, that's incredible. So, he's immediately one of my favorite players. But not only the transfer and everything like that, when I studied him after the week one, he kind of breaks out and you're like, wow, this guy can play. What a great transfer. And then he has a great year. And now I'm studying the tape, getting ready for the Big Ten championship game as they're about to face Michigan. And DJ, he's just got such a good feel for the field and the space and the awareness of the defense. Like he's a smart player, and smart players at his position that are reliable can get separation, understand the nuances of coverage, and then are reliable catching the ball. They do well in the NFL. Like there is a spot for guys like that in the NFL. It's not going to shock me at all if this guy goes out there. Now, maybe he's not going to be the number one producer in the National Football League. Would it shock you if in a couple of years he's catching 50 or 60 passes?
No, I expect it. Yeah, that's the expectation. I think he's going to be a really good player. To me, he's like one of those guys. At worst, he's a really good four who can go out there and cover kicks as well because he's got some toughness. But I think he's got the upside of being a two. I really do. I think he can be a two who can give you some vertical stretch as well as some of that feel. And Joe, we've talked about this. It's one of the things I love the chance to spend so much time together as we do every year in the spring, as we kind of talk about what you're seeing in the college game. Why I'm looking at things from NFL evaluation standpoint, and I feel like we've had some of these kind of like breakthrough moments where I don't even know who said it first, but we kind of get on the same page. And I remember talking to about wideouts a few years ago, and we were talking about like, dude, it's the polished route runners, it's the guys that are the craftsmen, it's the guys who have play strength, they play through contact, they have strong hands. Those are the old guys. The NFL graveyard of receivers is chock full of height, weight, speed guys. Like they're everywhere. But if you've got some polish and you've got some feel, some route savvy and play strength, then you're going to be successful.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here. College football on Fox.